Mario first levels are pretty friggin' generic, not gonna lie, but that doesn't mean they're bad stages, far from it. Some of these are distinct, fun to explore, and play great, while others feel like recycled versions of already recycled courses. Today, we're gonna look at the first level in every mainline Mario game and rank them from peak to bleak. In the original Super Mario Bros., you get the most iconic introductory level in the history of gaming. To put it into context, when this came out, the people playing it didn't know shit about video games, or what a side-scroller even was, so this had to introduce pretty much everything, and the fact that it does so without hand-holding while still being enjoyable to seasoned players is an accomplishment and a half. By today's standards, it's a pretty basic course, but the reason it's so basic is because it's the foundation for any game like it. I have to give this one a respectable spot for how hard it pioneered. Let's go grade level. The first of the lost levels does a decent job at showing you what the rest of this game is all about. The first mushroom is stuck and requires a properly timed block hit. There's a poison mushroom right after this for unsuspecting players, and more difficulty than we're used to getting from a first level. The theming is bland though, with reused music and rocks on the ground instead of grass. Yeah, it's meh, and that's being nice. The US Mario 2 has a weird introduction. It starts with you falling from the sky, then going through a wooden door in the mountain to access more grass level. It works though, because this entire game is unconventional, and it goes on to show you how to pick up plants and enemies, climb vines, and go through potion doors to the Dark World. It's one of the most varied 1-1s in the series, with a cave, a mountain you climb into the clouds, and a boss fight, which is rare, and it puts both your platforming and throwing abilities to the test. Also, Birdo's introduction, so bonus points. I don't look back on this one super fondly, but after replaying it, it was refreshing and fun compared to most of these other levels. Call me crazy, but I'm thinking peak here. Mario Land's first level is super basic. It's nice to see a desert theming to contrast the typical grass, but the gameplay is nothing special. Now, it's an incredibly simplified game, so it doesn't have to teach much, but there's nothing memorable about it, and you run through like half of it with a star. I hate to do it to him, but this one's bleak. Mario Bros. 3 kicks off with a good first level. It doesn't try anything crazy, has a pretty tame look to it, and reuses moments from the OG 1-1, which works fine. I'd be leaning lower tier if it weren't for the straightaway you can test your Raccoon Tail's flight ability with. The subtle trail of coins you want to follow teaches this mechanic in a really clever way, and it's one of the better secrets in a first level, so I'll bump it up to mid tier. Mario World starts off pretty strong. Now you can pick between two levels, but only one's called Yoshi Island 1, so that's our focus, and it is awesome. It doesn't introduce Yoshi though, that'd be the second level, but for a solo Mario stage, this is about all you could ask for. You got Bonsai Bills charging after you, the charging Chucks, and mini dinosaurs that take 2 hits to kill, so some pretty unique enemies compared to your average Koopas and Goombas. It hides some dragon coins around, shows off the new slope platforms, and has a bonus 1-up you can nab when you throw this shell upward, which again is a fun way to teach the mechanic. If it had Yoshi, it'd be peak, but as it is, it's a great level. Mario Land 2 starts off pretty similar to the first one. Even if it has better gameplay overall, the opening stage does not show it. Visually, it's dry, structurally, it's forgettable, and most importantly, it's just not fun. There's no way around it. Bleak. Yoshi's Island is a different direction for 2D Mario, but this first level shows you all you need to know very effectively. Making eggs, aiming them to activate different things, and using that flutter jump to your advantage all feel pretty natural by the time you reach the goal, which was no easy task. It also has one of the most unique art directions in the series, which makes it stand out from all the others in a refreshingly positive way. While the game itself isn't one of my favorites, there's no denying this is a peak introduction to it. Mario 64 starts off with the iconic landmark that is Bob-omb Battlefield. As with all levels in this game, it has multiple missions within it, but we're gonna focus on the first one for the sake of this video, and it's quite frankly perfect. The objective is obvious, but there's plenty of room to explore and find new things, which was great for what was many people's first time playing a 3D game. Scaling this giant mountain while avoiding cannonballs and crossing narrow wooden planks feels stellar. It's the right balance of challenge and accessibility, and starts things off off in the best possible way. When you finally make it to the top, you take on King Babam in a classic showdown, and this method for beating bosses is pretty similar to the one you'll use to defeat Bowser later on, so it's planting all the right seeds nice and early. And you can't cheat and throw him off the edge either. I think we all tried, but bro calls you right out and wants to battle with honor. You know what? Fair enough. Everything about this level is phenomenal. Its impact on the series is massive, and on its own, it still remains peak. Mario Sunshine technically starts with a little tutorial on the airstrip, but the first true level and mission is Bianco Hills and the road to the big windmill, which, like 64, is amazing. It starts off with a water slide that leads to a whole freaking town that you don't have to interact with yet, but is so enticing to explore. If you only stick to the main objective though, it's not all that. You jump over this wall, beeline for the pile of goop, then slay the third straight piranha plant monster of the last 5 minutes. It's pretty damn redundant. Now, you can skip this fight and head straight for Petey Piranha, but that's for the second shine of the level, so it doesn't count. If it did, it'd be going peak. The area as a whole is more interesting than Babam Battlefield, but this first mission doesn't fully illustrate that unless you do some wandering on your own time, but it's still a great level. New Super Mario Bros. Starts out in a very New Super Mario Bros. Kind of way. It's grassy plains and mind-numbing difficulty, though some credit's due for having multiple, I guess you can call them secrets, the new star coins, and the Mega Mushroom featured on the cover art being used right away, and this is basically a more satisfying star that lets you decimate anything that stands in your way. The con, though, is that it's only used a handful of times in the entire playthrough, so introducing it here just to not be seen again for a couple worlds seems like a waste of space in a level that's supposed to get you ready for the game to come. It's okay, not terrible, but meh. Mario Galaxy's first full galaxy is the good egg, but the true first level is the Gateway Galaxy, and it's good, not for the game it's in, but compared to these other first levels, it could certainly be worse. I'm not gonna count the hide and seek with the bunnies as part of it, but everything after the first launch star is fair game. You move to a few different planets, and it gets you used to the spherical platforms you'll be hopping across and the trippy gravity they bring with them, but that's about it. Slaughtering all these Goombas to save the Lumas just isn't all that fun. And then flipping all these switches to free the Grand Star, again, feels really rudimentary. The theming and top-notch gameplay mechanics save it from a bad placement though. It's still a decent, albeit limited, first level. Mario Bros. Wii takes what the DS one does and waters it down even more. The secrets are even less discreet, the propeller takes it from easy to fucking easy, and the only thing that makes it remotely stand out are the new rolling grass hills, which are pretty freaking lame. It's just empty, and leaves me feeling empty afterwards. This is bleak. Galaxy 2 starts off with the Sky Station Galaxy, which feels like way more of an impactful level than the first Galaxy got. It has plenty of platforming, a banger of a song, these smaller planets to screw around with physics on, and some sections that feel kinda advanced for first level standards. And it caps off with a fight against Pee-wee Piranha, which might be the best boss we've seen yet. This little guy gets pretty aggressive, and smacking his ass to discipline him is pretty great. There's no real downsides to this one. I guess you could argue there's less to explore than other 3D entries, but the entire game's more linear, so it matches the style it wants to go for, and I think belongs up in peak. Mario 3D Land feels like a new Super game turned 3D. The colorful blocks and grassy terrain make for the most generic look we've ever seen, and it's stupid linear, with not a speck of replayability. The big Goomba's cool, bleak. 1-1 in New Super Mario Bros. 2 tries to look like 3D Land and play like the Wii version, and what it ends up feeling like is a more dried out version of both. Even the coin gimmick feels shoehorned in with a couple golden bricks you can run with. There's nothing redeeming about this level. Bleak. Mario Bros. U starts off on a better foot than the other New Super games, with Bowser taking over Peach's castle and the gang getting tossed far away from it to start. But even still, the level still takes on the grassy aesthetic, though here there's at least some cool mountains and trees to look at, which vibe with the flying squirrel suit pretty well. It's definitely still a Mario first level, but I'll take it a hair over bleak tier. Meh. Luigi U starts off with a very short level, but it remixes the previous one in like the best way imaginable. The whole game is chocked full of these bite-sized yet wildly difficult stages, and this first one introduces that idea well. There's way more things moving around you have to account for, and the star coins actually require some precision to nab. It's a good first level for the game that it's in. Super Bell Hill jumpstarts Mario 3D World, and while it feels like your ordinary 1-1, it does a good amount of things right, too. You get the cat suit right from the get-go, it doesn't waste any time there, and using it to climb some walls and find secrets feels great. I don't know why there's a Mega Mushroom up here for one of the only times in the game, I just don't, but you know, it's fun and uncovers a green star. And I know I haven't commented on music much, but the jazzy, chill beat this level provides is the perfect note to start on, one of my favorite Mario themes. A different coat of paint would go a long way, but as a grass level, it's one of the best and most polished we've seen. It's a quality first stage. Mario Run takes Mario U's first level, strips down the gameplay to a mobile game, and thought it could get a placement better than Bleak. Mario's Odyssey first takes him to the Cap Kingdom, and unlike previous more open-ended 3D Marios, there's no clear first episode I can narrow the ranking to. So looking at it in its entirety, it's damn good. Its black and white color palette, mysterious music, and almost disorienting background makes for a super distinct feel, and it offers just about everything you'd need in the first area. The first part gives you room to throw around Cappy and see what he can do. Inside the Hat Tower, you make your first capture and platform around as a frog, and the brutal you fight up top has these cool hat attacks to hit you with. Now you don't get a moon your first time in this area, which is weird, and it feels kinda lifeless when compared to something like Bianco Hills, but it's an excellent level no doubt. Bowser's Fury is an open-world game, so there's no independent first stage, but Scamper Shores is the first little sub-area you get to play around in, and while it's very condensed and not as sprawling as some other levels, it's jam-packed with fun stuff to do. There's 5 cat shine shards to find, some full-on shines to collect, kittens to toss into the ocean, and a couple nice little secrets. It's a sandbox to play around with Cat Mario and his new ally Bowser Jr. I like it a lot. It's probably the weakest in this tier, but I'm still gonna call it great. And last but not least, Mario Wonder makes the crowd go mild. It looks pretty nice and plays well, but isn't a very good showcase for the magical experience to come. The elephant power-up as a whole is underwhelming. It's no Cat Mario, and using it here was exciting the first time, that's it. And the Wonder Flower making all the pipes dance around is super innovative, but compared to all the other Wonder Flower abilities, it plays it kinda safe. That's kinda what a first level's supposed to do though, so I can't be too harsh. It's good, and that's that. And there you have it.